Breaking news coming in this evening after ANN7's expose on South African Airways. The ball has finally begun to roll. The Deputy Minister of Finance, Fiso Buthelezi, is set to give a range of SAA forensic reports to the Standing Committee on Finance tomorrow. Some of the reports date as far back as 7 years, but have been kept under wraps. This comes close on the heels of ANN7 airing details of two such, which point out gross financial mismanagement at South African Airways. The SAA board has claimed that the reports are unfinished, which is why they have not been made public or acted upon. Let's get the latest details now with regards to this breaking news coming through. For that, I'm joined on the phone line by ANN7's Special Projects Editor, Cecilia Rossells. Good evening to you, Cecilia. So finally, some action from Treasury after ANN7's expose on SAA forensic reports. What are the implications of this? Also, just give us some background details here, please.
Okay. Yes, I'm very excited. There have been several reports. I think last time we, in our expose, we referred to 90 million rands worth of reports that have happened over a couple of years, and from what we gather, none of them have ever been made public. When we spoke to SAA and they gave us a response recently, they said that at least two of the reports that we've been reporting on are in fact unfinished, and therefore they cannot be released. Well, we'll see tomorrow what will happen, whether they get released to the Standing Committee of Finance. The Standing Committee on Finance's chairman, Yunus Karim, was very anxious to ensure that those reports were given to him. He intimated perhaps that there would be some legal action if they weren't given to him. The problem with the SAA is a sinking ship, really. It's not sinking. It's probably the wrong analogy to use. But it's losing money, and all of these reports indicate why they're losing money. They point to the various problems of management and governance, etc. in SAA, and suggest ways to save money. So these reports are enormously important to be discussed and out there in the public domain.
Cecilia, how many forensic reports are there? Do we have those sort of details, and also some possible answers to why they've never been made public or haven't been made public as yet?
Well, we're completely mystified as to why they haven't been made public. I know that the board, for example, has told us off the record, really, but members of the board have told us that they, as far as they're concerned, at least the two that we are dealing with, which deal with more than a billion, more than 1.7 billion rands of potential savings, which is actually a huge amount considering they've just had government has just given them a guarantee to pay some debt. That these reports are not finished. However, from what we can gather, these reports, what we know is that the board has now nearly been in place for nearly a year. These reports were finished late last year. There's really very little excuse that they have not to have discussed them. The other thing is that Treasury has been in charge of this SAA. It's under administration of SAA. Treasury keeps on, passing the buck to SAA, saying that these reports, are SAA's problem. But clearly, this is a recognition that these reports are actually, in the Treasury's domain, and it's the Treasury's responsibility to make sure that they are put into the, well, not so much into the public domain, but into the Standing Committee domain, so they can be discussed, and remedial action for the ailing airline is taken.
Cecilia, just lastly, let's backtrack a little bit. Please take us through the expose that ANN7 has done, and also what else can we expect later this evening?
Yes, previously we discussed, the fact, for example, that we have a office in Miami where we don't fly to, and we have very expensive, at 68,000 rand, I think it is a month, staff that are employed at this office, and bizarrely, when they had an opportunity to cancel the contract, they renewed it, so we are stuck with it until 2021, which seems like a waste of money. call staff here in South Africa don't earn anything near 68,000 rand as a basic salary. They may earn it with interest, etc., etc. I mean, with commission, but they earn it between 8 and about 25,000 rand, depending on the experience. So it's not. The salaries are not comparable to South African. A call center, it's not necessary for a call center to be in any particular country, because obviously, it's not as though you are dealing, face to face with anybody. So that's the one thing. The other one involved a contract which was illegally got, and which the ENS report said it was really essential that the authorities lay charges, and this is properly investigated by, the Hawks, for example. Later on today, we'll be looking at two aspects. One is our the pilots. They pampered our pilots, very expensive pilots, most expensive except for the Americas. Taking up a third of the salaries. Their salaries, are a third of the salaries that are paid out to staff at the airport, and they also, it's a slow drip of money that just disappears. They choose the fanciest hotels, they ignore, protocols, and so their benefits and their salaries are exorbitant. And the second part involves a contract, with a security contract, which for months, more than 50 months, was renewed on a month-to-month basis, which is completely against the Public Finance Management Act.
Well, thank you very much, Cecilia. Let's leave it there for now. ANN7's Special Projects Editor, Cecilia Russell, just joining us on the phone line there and talking to us about ANN7's expose on South African Airways and the headway made in that regard. You'll find further details during ANN7 Prime later this evening right here on this channel, but stay tuned for that.